Welcome, welcome to our full moon in Virgo circle. Very exciting. It's fun to watch how the cosmic energies are following what we're doing, which is like kind of course, but how many years did we just whatever and didn't even pay any attention to it? So it's kind of exciting to be this conscious of what's actually set up by the universe and what we're doing here. So let's open our circle. Taking a nice deep breath in, grounding ourselves, feet flat on the floor if possible, feeling your chair supporting your body, allowing your energies to begin to gather back into your body, coming down into first chakra, second and third chakra areas, feeling them maybe even feeling heavier as the energy begins to gather there. And on another breath in, bringing our hands into prayer pose for a moment. And on the exhale, allowing our hands to fall forward and parting time, space, reality. Moving all of the past out past the left hand and all of the right out past the right hand. Creating this beautiful space of now and surrendering in to the field of the infinite. Just allowing this knowing or feeling or even pretending that we have just free fallen, if you will, into the field of the infinite. And feeling how supported we are here. Taking another breath in, bringing hands back into prayer pose. Inviting in all of those who love us to join us in our circle. Calling upon the energies of Virgo and of the ruler of Virgo, Mercury. Joan of Arc, Archangel Michael, Sophia are gathering here. Inviting you to bring to our circle all of those who you love to work with, bringing them to the circle. And bringing and inviting all of the energies of our sisters, those who are here live, those who are here etherically, and welcoming each other into this beautiful circle. Powerful energies in this final full moon of winter. We will have the new moon in Pisces before the equinox, but this is our final full moon. So as we are here gathered, full moons, you know, one of their biggest treats is letting go of things that we don't need, resentments we might have, anywhere that we've got our energy a little twisted, and just allowing that to be released. So as Sophia brings us some light code activations, and they are using a new phrase as well of upgrading. So we're going to do Ho'oponopono and release all of the things, whether conscious or unconscious, that are no longer part of who we are. They may be habits, and they may be floating thoughts, or perhaps even some leftover dregs of traumas that we've cleared. We're going to burn all of that up in the fires of transformation. And then we will bring in this upgrade to our energy systems. So calling upon your higher self to join you in this time together, allowing ourselves to just relax. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Continuing on with your own Ho'oponopono for as long as feels good for you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. A deep breath in. Beautiful. Bringing in the upgrades and the light codes. Nishiliana ha yahatatoko mo ti nyananoko. Krishama hohiana ti nanara. Maliana lo YouTube to motor to taki do. She patata. Yamara liole kiki atana radidiara. Shayatati. Ayala lady Maria. Tianana poyara. Beautiful. Well, this is a very intense full moon. And it's at 5 degrees Virgo. The sun, of course, then is at 5 degrees Pisces. And this is the second consecutive full moon at 5 degrees. So both the 5 and the Aquarian energy that we're celebrating because of Pluto's move into Aquarius, the Aquarian age. All these pieces are all about freedom. And for our purposes today and the energy of Virgo, this freedom looks like taking new directions, considering expanding into new ways of being. And the Virgo energy supports that totally. Because Virgo is all about taking inspired action, bringing our dreams into fruition, putting legs to our dreams, if you will. So, as this all works together hand in hand with what we're doing in the Vision Quest, your final guide and the final matrix will both go live today when I put up the recordings, and they are both around action. Now, since we have been playing here for all of this time, we understand that that doesn't mean that, okay, now we're going to hit it. No. But we are going to now take the dreams and the seeds that we have been planting, and we're going to look at what are the next inspired actions to take. So before we complete today, we'll have a question and answer period around the core beliefs that support all of this, because that's been our theme. And then we have our focus circle on March the 6th, and it's going to start at 10:30 a.m. versus our normal start time, because I actually have a call after that I would run into. So we're going to start at 10:30, but this will be a time where you can really, in this container, focus in on wherever you're at. We're never behind. We can work on Vision Quest until next December when it starts again. So we're not behind, but if you're like me, things are starting to speed up a little bit. And just knowing that I have this dedicated time to work on my guides, to pin this down a bit, feels very spacious. So I'm excited about that. So it's very interesting. The full moon this time, this particular one, is really straightforward. The moon is sitting all by herself opposite all of the other planets. So if you saw the chart, the moon is over here and way over there, everybody else is. All of the planets are bunched up all together in the 4 signs: Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, and Taurus, which is very unusual and kind of fun. So the Sun, Saturn, and Mercury are actually forming a stellium, which means they're basically on top of each other. And they're in Pisces, directly opposite the moon. So the moon is symbolizing for us taking a stand, going into our hearts and saying, okay, how do I navigate all of this deep, intense energy? We've got a little bit of intense energy going on around us, just out in the world, but also in the planets, and everything is like a crescendo at this point. I've heard 3 different people put it this way, and one of them goes, "Dare I say?" And I'm like, well, I don't know. What are you going to say? Their take on what we're seeing playing out in the world at this moment is actually a healing crisis. And if you know a lot about, which most of you do, about energy healing, when things let loose, you could have a pain. Like if your first or second chakra are totally blocked and you release that block, your back is going to let you know. Oh, I was going to say hurt. But your back is going to let you know that there is now suddenly energy running through this area that has been blocked, and you're going to feel it. Now, we, of course, automatically go to, oh, my back hurts. What did I do? Kind of, because that's just our training and our mentality. But what if we could go and put it to, there's nothing wrong here. Yay, energy's moving through my back that has been locked up for who knows how long. Yay. And yeah, we can do some things to help it feel better. So, what if, as we're watching what can look like the world falling apart and burning up, what if we could hold it in the same way that nothing's gone wrong here? And how can we be supportive? And how can we hope the Ho'oponopono we did today is very powerful for all of this. Because yes, in some shape, fashion, or form, our unconscious behaviors or beliefs have added to what's going on. Certainly not consciously, but unconsciously. So just even Ho'oponopono is a beautiful way of offering support to the planet at this time as it's making this big, massive transition. So it's just to kind of step back a little bit and look at, what is our role? Our role is to be in our heart and not panic and think that everything's gone wrong. So what are we going to do to navigate this deep, intense energy? So the deepest energy is found in the stellium itself, because we've got Saturn and Mercury in the stellium with the sun. Because Saturn helps us focus on what really matters, the nitty-gritty. It helps us get through challenges of life and gain strength as a result. Now, in your guide, both the one that you currently are working on with your core beliefs and the one with taking action, putting legs to all of our dreams, that's the next one. These are the pieces where we just got to get down to the nitty-gritty. Yes, we have been up in our heads, and most of us adore being there, and it has been fun and lovely and glorious, and we've played and played and played and played, and we want to put legs to it and actually till the soil, tend to the garden, and harvest the plants. So that's where we're at. The silver lining of Saturn is that it integrates and cements all that we are focused on, so it has a long-lasting impact on our lives. So doing this work now, under this influence, which is going to carry us through the end of Vision Quest, is that whatever we put our focus on as we do this final bits and pieces of our Vision Quest, this Saturnian energy is going to actually allow it to have a long-lasting impact on our lives. And I don't know about all of y'all, but I know that I have a thing with, in fact, somebody asked what about, how do you feel about social media? And I'm like, it feels like spitting in the wind. So many of the things I do feel like I'm just doing them to do them, and are they really making an impact? And so leaning back into, yes, whatever, especially what I'm doing right now, is impacting everything because it has this beautiful energy behind it. So pay attention to what you want and how you want to go about getting it. And that's part of in the action guide you're going to get this afternoon. Creating a structure for your deepest desires to manifest. So that's what we're doing now. Is we have the desire, we've unearthed it, we've picked it apart. We have landed on beliefs that will help support it and bring it about. And now we're going to create the structures for it to manifest. And then because the stellium is in Pisces, this is the sign of undoing the ego and separating pipe dreams and illusions and delusions from spiritually inspired directions. So it's possible that as you're going back through your guide, like one more time, remember we did the whole part about the ego desires and the desires that are, you may find that there are some things that made it to the final list that you go back and look and go, no, that's no. Now, it can be that it's going to be a, ooh, that's a 2025 or later desire. It may be that it's just not time for them, or it may be that you realize, this is really not calling me anymore. It's really kind of a should I put on there, but nah, it's just not, and letting it go. So when Mercury is joined with Saturn, there's a lot of deep thinking, understanding things at a deep level, and in wanting to communicate this in some way. And just know that this is going to be very gentle because that's Pisces' way. And Pisces and Virgo are the signs of healing. And you'll only want to talk about things that actually matter, not trivial, fluffy stuff. So you'll find as you begin talking about your deepest desires and begin fleshing it out and begin sharing it, it's going to be in a deep way. It's not going to be just, let me just sling this out there. So during this lunation, you're going to realize at an even deeper level that you have this constant, eternal access to the divine and to your internal compass for guidance. Now, the stellium itself will be exact on the 29th, which means all of those 3 planets are going to literally be in the same degree. And they're going to then sextile with Jupiter. And this is a beautiful gift from the divine to add Jupiter to the stellium, because Jupiter is joy, happiness, and expansion. And putting that in the mix makes it clear that when you make your heart's intentions clear to the universe, what you embark on will bring you growth and expansion and freedom in a true sense of joy as they implement new approaches that are truly internally heart motivated and inspired. We're not going to be doing things just because that's how it's always been done, because that's how everybody tells you you have to do it this way. We're not doing that anymore. We're doing things in the way our heart says, ooh, this will be fun. So we go do that. Now, there are other people who look at what we're doing and they go, oh my God, I wouldn't do that on a bet. And that's okay. That's not what they're supposed to be doing. This is so cool about all of this. Now, know that Moon in Virgo governs your health and healing and your daily affairs. So being deeply appreciative of Earth and the bounties of Mother Earth, that's Virgo's thing. So all divine healing modalities are covered by Virgo. So all this work that we're doing, this is our patron saint, if you will. So at this point, like many of us were talking about this morning, grounding is vital. So get outside, walk among the trees, feel the sun on your face. The important theme of this time is healing in general. And the moon is also trine to Jupiter. We know the sun is sextile to Jupiter, which is bringing in a lot of blessings, as long as we have a strong commitment to uplifting our lives and putting your health in place with high vibration and an uplifted heart. So much good, good juju and energy is going on. Oh, it's so exciting. So let's look at where in your life this is particularly potent. So remember, we are using our rising sign. So if your rising sign is in Aries, this moon is activating the 6th house and all that the 6th house represents. Taurus is the 5th, Gemini is the 4th, Cancer's the 3rd, Leo is the 2nd, Virgo's the 1st, Libra the 12th, Scorpio the 11th, Sagittarius the 10th, Capricorn the 9th, Aquarius the 8th, and Pisces is the 7th house. So taking a look here at our books falling apart, looking here at our gates. So interestingly, I am loving the traditional definitions. We usually use the quantum definitions for our gates, but I'm particularly loving the traditional ones. So the sun, which is the one that actually looks like a big sun over a green field there, is in gate 55. And the traditional for this gate is abundance. The quantum is faith. The challenge of the energy of this gate, where our growing edge, what we're working on here, is to learn to trust source. To know that you are fully supported. To master the art of emotional alignment as your most creative power. Yes, please. Mastery of this gate is the ability to hold the emotional frequency of energy and the vision for a creation. To trust in sufficiency so deeply that you're able to create without limitation. And for both of these gates today, we've got sufficiency and sustainability words. And for me, these mean knowing that there is an unlimited supply. It's sufficient. It's more than sufficient. Now, when you're in the unbalance, this is more of the unaware part of life. You have indecisive, fear and lack, hoarding, keeping from others, fighting to take more than your share, and not trusting source and drawing on what will create. So our EFT for this gate is, even though I struggle with faith and trusting source, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And a deep breath in and out. Our affirmation: I am perfectly and divinely supported. I know that all my needs and desires are being fulfilled. My trust in this support allows me to create beyond the limitations of what others think is possible, and my faith shows them the way. I use my emotional energy as the source of my creative power. My frequency of faith lifts others and opens up a greater world of potential and possibility. A deep breath in. Beautiful. Now the moon is activating gate 59. And the traditional for gate 59 is dispersion. So we've gathered in our abundance and now we are dispersing it. I am always allow myself to stand in wonderment at how these work together. The quantum is sustainability. And the challenge or the growing edge of this gate is to learn to make abundant choices that sustain you and at the same time others. To collaborate and initiate others into sustainable relationships from a place of sufficiency. To learn to share what you have in a sustainable way. And that one, it's the overgiving, learning to not overgive. Mastery of this energy is to trust in sufficiency and to know that when you create abundance, there is great fulfillment in sharing. To craft partnerships and relationships that sustain you and the foundations of your life. The unbalanced or unaware end of the stick of this energy is to feel like you have to fight or struggle to survive, to feel the need to penetrate others and force your rightness on them, to let fear of lack cause you to craft relationships and agreements that are unsustainable. A deep breath in. Our EFT for this gate is, even though I struggle to share my intentions, I now choose to boldly state them and wait for the pieces of my creation to magically fall into place. And I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Deep breath in. The affirmation, the energy that I carry has the power to create sufficiency and sustainability for all. I craft valuable alliances and agreements that support me in expanding abundance for everyone. I hold to higher principles and values that are rooted in my trust in sufficiency and the all-providing source. Through my work and alignments, my blessings serve to increase the blessings of myself and others. And a deep breath in. Beautiful. So as we reach this portion of today, I wanted to, before we do our dance, because it's going to work around these pieces here, what has come up for you? What are you noticing? What questions do you have around the work we've done so far? And in particular, this idea around creating the core beliefs so that your core beliefs support who you're going to be, who you're moving to be. So what's coming up for anyone, everyone? You should be able to unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hello.
For me, what's coming up is just a real strong internal, yes, you've shed a lot of this stuff. Now it's just letting go of more concern that is unnecessary about being on the right track for myself, for what I want. And I do, it's just been a very good confirmation
Mm.
time today.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, gosh, Sophia was just mentioning that. Um, we have a habit of worry. It's it is such a habit. It's like whatever you do, when you get out of bed in the morning, whatever you do, that's a habit. And so we have this habit of, I need to worry. And as we're learning to let go of that, we kind of almost run into this thing of, well, if I'm not worrying, what am I going to do? Wait, I'm not being responsible if I don't worry about this.
It has finally come to the point where Wyatt and I are laughing about it because I finally said something, I think it was about a week or so ago, about, well, I worry about, and he cut me off. He goes, "You worry? Oh my gosh," and it's so obvious that that is my bad habit. And I call it bad because it's like an entry level drug to overeating, lethargy, procrastination, and it's all around worry.
Yes, yes. It is the entry level drug to the dopamine hit.
Yes.
And we don't really talk about that much because we're all up in our heads with our energy work. But we've also got this down here where we're just trained. And Phyllis, I think you speak to this type of thing in your brand new book, don't you?
Um, yeah, but not in a technical way. But yeah, when we are in fear, worry, stress, anxiety, all that fun stuff, we don't want to feel it. And so we will do almost anything to avoid it that will, put us on the more pleasurable or
Yeah.
numb out.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of everyone, you can all have an opportunity to partner with Phyllis to introduce her new book in how many days now?
Comes out March 12th. I don't know how many days, but it's
How
not very
ex
many.
how exciting, how exciting, how exciting. So we'll let everybody know. And if you want to send out things to your friends and all, just let Phyllis know and she'll send you a little kit to do that. So exciting, so exciting. So Phyllis, have any of your because I know you've done it, and you as well, Kathleen, you've done this more than once. Have any of your core beliefs, or how have your core beliefs shifted and changed?
I have to say the faith that I have in where I'm going, even though I have no idea how the universe is going to put it together, is like unshakable. Every time I'm thinking like, okay, it sure doesn't look yet like my book's going to be a New York Times bestseller for 6 months and help millions of people. But I have been setting that attention for so long. I've held the faith. And just this morning, there is somebody who I'm connected with that put my free offer of 10 self-views to determine the likelihood of success in her newsletter. She shared that on my Facebook page, in her community on Facebook that's got, I don't know how many thousands, LinkedIn, like this. I woke up, well, I didn't wake up. I looked at this like 5 minutes before I got on here, and you're telling us all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it's happening. Like, this is real. I'm doing it.
Yes.
But it took years.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We're not talking just one planting season. This book has been in the works for like 4 years. I had the my wrist break, which was another, it was a delay, but now I see the perfection in the timing, and I just had to keep moving forward and saying yes and showing up
Yes.
and creating inspired things.
Yes. And that to me is that's the diamond from your story, is I set an intention and I kept saying yes.
Mhm.
Even when it was like, well, okay, fine. I can't write because I broke my wrist. Fine, universe.
But you know what the real gift is? And you, like, for me, I always get it in hindsight. It's like, this sharpened me, shaped me, like the diamond needed some shining, and
Mhm.
I couldn't be who I am today to have this person promote me in a huge way if I didn't do the work, if I didn't have those experiences, if I didn't reach out to you and say, hey, I'm not sure what I need, but I need something because something big's happening.
Well, and the other piece too of yeah, it's important. It'll come back. I don't know. It went somewhere. But I know. I think your stated intention was for what your desire for this book to be and do. Yes. But to me, the more powerful intention was, I am willing to become whoever, whatever, it's probably whomever, whatever it is, to bring that about. I am willing to expand to be the person who has this book, and to birth the book and shepherd the book and
Mm-hmm.
launch the book. That was, for me, that was the more powerful intention.
Oh, the book is I told you this the other day. The
Oh,
book is just the vehicle for me to get to be who I'm becoming, like that next version, and then see what happens next for,
yeah.
whatever opportunities, the next book, all that fun stuff I get to play with at a different level.
Yes. Yes. And that's what I'm hearing you say as well, Kathleen. So I wonder who you'll be when you no longer worry. I wonder who I'll be when I no longer worry. What will take up my days? I don't know, but stuff is because I'm in the exact same boat. And I was noticing, well, just today, I thought, wow, it's not even coming into my mind to think about that and worry about it. And I went, cool.
Yesterday, I felt myself in between being like my old self and my new self. And I'm like, I don't like how this feels because I don't feel connected to either. And then I don't know what shifted, but I just like acknowledged it, let it go. And by last night and this morning, I'm like, okay. And as we're talking, I do feel different. Like, okay, now I'm aligned with this next version of me.
And recognizing that that's a continual thing and it's going to happen and happen. We always say, of course, for most of us, it was so long ago. The initial one was so long ago that, if we hadn't written about it, we forgot about it. But there was it's like the sign of actually coming into enlightenment or into awareness and awakeness is when you're like, I don't even know who I am. I know I'm not that, but I'm just kind of like in this nebulous space. I have no idea. Ooh, here we go. I have no identity. And that's the consciousness break, or the break into consciousness, is we don't need all these identities we try to stick on ourselves.
What's fascinating? My Virgo's my sign, and so it's in the first house that has to do with appearance and image and self-identity.
Yeah. How exciting. Oh, Lainey, what have you been discovering?
Hey guys, my internet is um messing with me a little bit today, but um I think Kathleen has said it in the past, but it just amazes me how on point everything you said is with my life right now. Um and I guess my kind of mantra lately has been like totally trusting in the divine and being able to be happy in any situation.
Mm, yeah, just
So,
accepting what is.
yep, accepting what is, and just like that, I don't need to do anything, that I can just be. And um, it's, I'm in a really great place right now, and thank you. This has been amazing so far.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, let's pull out our dance journals, and I'm going to look at what. Yes. Okay. So here is our, and I'll put the thing up to have uh, the prompts again. But our prompt is, my number one core belief is, and then follow it up with, it's important to me because. And let's play with that. Okay, there it is. All right. So my number one core belief is, and if something that you never put down comes up, hey, even better. Well, we will see on the opposite side what it feels like. And it's important to me because. And if you feel called to it, you could add the idea of what keeps me from fully leaning into this belief. How's everyone doing? Need more time?
Just a moment more.
Okay.
I'm okay now.
Perfect. Let's clear the energy from what we've written. Get our hands on the page. Any energy here that belongs to someone else, I return to sender with love and consciousness. Deep breath in. Release it. Any energy here that belongs to something else, I release it to be transmuted into love. Deep breath in and out. Any energy here that is mine, I see you and I hear you. I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And deep breath in. Beautiful. So I would like to hear everyone's belief, core belief. I'll start. My number one core belief is that the universe and everything in it is conspiring in my favor. That's my number one belief. Phyllis, what's yours?
You know, I struggled to come up with a belief because my first thought was that it had to be something negative. So, and I didn't want to go there because I'm not in that place. But when you said what keeps you from fully believing or leaning into the belief, and so I wrote about that, and my belief in a more positive is that there is evidence that I am being fully supported. So that's my new belief.
Yes, there's always evidence. I love it. Kathleen, what'd you come up with?
Well, interesting. Like Phyllis, I thought, wow, well, this feels like it needs to be a negative belief, which is interesting.
Yes.
But anyway, what's more interesting is what came out of all of it, kind of feeding on the worry part that we talked about earlier for myself. Just really realizing that there are still remnants of childhood trauma that I experienced, and but it was feeling your comments earlier about what is my loss of identity was so interesting. And this past week I just got invited to play all this music stuff, which I mean I haven't been playing for like 5 years except for here and there because there's been nothing available to me, and all of a sudden I'm getting invited to play in all this music. And in my childhood, playing music was how I dealt with and escaped and removed myself from the trauma. So it's just really interesting how this is forming together. So my dance all around this was realizing that being seen as a musician, I never wanted to be like a soloist. I always enjoyed playing in ensembles, but being seen to me meant that, well, I'm kind of rambling because it's kind of very
Yeah,
deep.
that's okay.
But I needed to make certain that I saw everything in advance so that I could observe it and tend to it and make sure that everything was going to be okay, so that I didn't fall into a position of being unaware or surprised or hurt again. And
Mhm.
so this whole thing with the dance kind of gave me this new identity, realizing that music is God to me. Music
Uh-huh.
is how I hear. um I mean, I certain things just literally like one sound of a piece of music and my entire heart chakra opens up.
Mm.
It's so different to me. So what this helped me with was my new identity. The link between my old and my new identity is music, and that I
Mm.
can throw myself into that rather than these other things that are really not things that I desire, that I do. It's kind of, I'm just rambling, but there's a lot here for me.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we are happy to witness it with you.
Oh,
So
thank you.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Wow. So that some of the other things that you had filled that space with can be let go.
Yeah, in my head, there's a challenge because one of the things I'll just say is binge watching stuff with Wyatt, because I want to spend time with Wyatt.
Yeah.
And when he starts these programs and they go on and on and on, it's like I don't want to just get up and leave. So I'll need to find something for that. But it's easy for me to go and play music.
Oh, yeah.
That's one thing. And living with someone and starting it just before the pandemic, and haven't not having lived with somebody for over 20 years, that's a whole different thing too that I'm challenged with. But if when I'm looking at this as what is the identity, and instead of making binge watching a bad thing, I do know it's an avoidance thing, but I also know it's how I spend time with Wyatt, because we have no
Mhm.
other interests together
Yeah.
except for dogs and television shows. So he's just not interested in the things that I'm interested in. That doesn't mean we're not great partners. We are.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot there. There's a lot there.
Yeah, yeah. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm finding it's very hilarious because that's basically the only time Jim and I spend a lot of, I was going to say quality time. I'm not sure what quality it is, but a lot of time together. But we are down to one show and we're done. So it's kind of like, okay, at some point it's, hey, I got an hour I can give you. What do we watch? So it'll be fun to see how it all plays out. Um, all right, so I'm finding it very interesting, but I'm gonna ask Lainey hers before I make this statement. So Lainey, what came to you?
Um, so again, you're freaking me out a little, but I've like recently been really grateful that I've kind of got my foundation of my core belief system. So my number
Mhm.
one core belief is reincarnation. And it
Okay.
is important to me because it lies a spiritual foundation for myself where I can be nailed to the cross by people, kind of like Jesus was, and not
I'll
retaliate.
be back. Right.
Uh, like when people do stuff, instead of retaliating, it's the Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And because you don't want the karma, I'm here to work on my soul's journey and pay off karma when others wrong me, acknowledging I probably did it to them when I wasn't enlightened or in a past life. So you can almost be grateful for them when they do things to you, because you're paying off karma.
Mm,
And back to the love, not fear, the Aquarian times. What keeps me from fully leaning into it is probably ego and fear of being criticized or outcasted. I still go to church because like my daughter loves the Sunday school. And so it's been really interesting for me to sit in these like Bible studies and have this belief system and want to help others get a really strong foundation, but also know that I'm not in the correct place to help them do that.
yeah.
Um, but moving above ego and into service and up leveling my soul, moving out of programming and becoming authentic. And I loved Kathleen's like, you know, the soul, the music. Like I believe that we have gifts from past lives. And if we, you know, now with the internet, it's so easy to play music, but 100 years ago, you had to learn the piano or learn the harp or so it's it's exciting for me to find my soul gifts that are from past lives. And like I believe now that like addiction and those things are evil and that's like the devil, so having that belief system really is helping me to stay away from, you know, temptations.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Wow.
I am
Well,
complete.
and
Thank you.
yeah, I'm glad that at this point that the way you're seeing the world is, really expanding it for you. Um, the other piece too for everyone is as you go through your guide, um, we're looking at, to me, the core beliefs are almost kind of, because they're deeper than that, because we've been working on them for so long, but it's it's what we're instilling into our unconscious to run our lives. So where used to believe that shit happens and somehow I've brought it all on myself. No. Now we're also back to the accepting everything as is. But that's why I needed to change that belief. So that now it doesn't really matter what's going on, the universe and everything in it is for me. And so if I walk outside and I'm ready to leave and there's a flat tire, yeah, it stinks, but I don't have any idea what the delay of repairing that tire is preparing me for or protecting me from. And so because of that belief, I'm able to not scream and holler and, make everything worse because I have a flat tire.
And
So,
I
and then I had put a list of different, the ones that are mine. I even added one this year. I don't think I have it in front of me, but I did add one this year. So that's why I was wondering if y'all had. So yeah, for me, the core beliefs are, what are you saying to yourself that supports who you are becoming? So I don't know if that changes things, adds any dimension to, what we're talking about, but I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, I knew I got off track, but I just figured that I needed to go follow the track that was coming before
Oh,
me.
absolutely. Well, and I mean, some things actually came up when I put that down, and then I went, why is it important? And then what's keeping me from it? I'm like, oh yeah, more work to do there. So again, like with everything, it's perfect because it allowed you to, and I've been gluing, so thank y'all, because that's my passion, not playing music, but gluing stuff down. It's what you needed to do today.
Yeah.
To come up with that understanding. So awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
May I add something, Roz?
Sure.
And it's kind of like yours with what I've thinking. I think they merge because it's like, the praying to God for forgiveness and being forgiven, like that's hard for me, if you do something horrible on Friday night and you go confess your sins the next day at church, like I just that's always I don't know that's never resonated with me. So it's kind of like with karma, you don't have to do anything. Like you said, the universe is conspiring for you. So
Mhm.
you're paying that off, but as long as you're living with love and morality, and then you just keep going above. But I think it's hard to get over the ego part of it in some ways.
Well, and there's a lot of reinforcement that you're banging up against by entrenching yourself in the adult part of church. My personal opinion. I'd say a basis, your kid loves Sunday school. So, yeah, it's nice to know that, Jesus did exist and he loves you. And yes. But when you're working on being and living spiritually, and then you've got this whole black cloud of, their sin, and somebody's going to get you if you step this, it becomes a whole ball of contradictory wax to me. So navigating that
Mhm.
is something to really just look at.
I think Kathleen inspired me. Maybe next time I'll go to the chorus, the music class
Yes,
instead of
yes,
the.
go that direction. Yes. um it's and we have the tools, because if as long as we are, my judgment is, which is part of cracking the chrysalis training, is how do I know, is this true for me? I mean, we hear something and it causes our heart to grip, or it causes our stomachs to clench, or it makes us feel bad. It's not true for us. And we always have to add the for us, because these other people who are sharing what they know and understand with us, where they're at in their soul path, it could very well be true. I'm not a judge, whatever. Y'all go right on with your bad selves. It's not true for me. And how do I know? Because I feel bad. And what does feeling bad indicate? I have separated myself from my spirit. I have separated myself from where I'm headed. I don't like the term I've separated myself from God, because that brings up the whole shebang again. But you have a connection with your soul. And when we are entertaining things that are not, it's like we and our soul are headed here, and we hear something that's going to pull us over here. Our soul is not coming over here with us. That's where this feeling of separation comes in. We go negative, our soul will not, it cannot join us in the negative. We haven't lost it. We aren't separated in that way, but we don't feel the tight connection anymore, because there's now a space. And then we go, oh, wait, what? This is where we use our emotions as our guidance system. Wait, all of a sudden I'm feeling bad. What am I thinking about? This is where dance comes in. What was I just thinking that I now feel like I got cold water dumped all over me, or whatever? And then from there we can go, oh, wait, that doesn't resonate with me. Now, where people who are still real baby at this, they then think, oh, wait, I had this epiphany. I now got to go make everybody else understand it. None of our business. Somebody asks you, hey, why do you think that? Now you have permission, share with it. But it's not from a In other words, and I remember Abraham Hicks, I heard it on one of their tapes. Somebody asked them, Abraham, can we share what we're learning from you with other people? And Abraham said, we would love for you to share what you're receiving. But if you tell people that they then have to do it that way and believe it, you have turned us into a religion, and we wouldn't be happy with that. So it's this, we have these epiphanies and we can share our truth, but we don't do it in a, okay, this is it. This is the, I now have the truth. You people all have to think like me and do like me and believe like me. And that's where for me, church got off, because you have my relationship, and then there's this whole institution coming in and saying, no, 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 you have to do it this way or you're wrong. And it just gummed up the works for me. So I'm loving that you're opening and expanding and growing and figuring these things out. And it's so delightful. I appreciate it. Anybody else have anything? Kathleen?
Yeah, I'd just like to share something for Lainey. I moved into this area where it's predominantly Mormon, and there are a group of women here who believe in all of the things that we teach here. And I mean, they get together on for retreats and study human design, and they study EFT, and they do all this stuff. And so I love what you said, Lainey, about possibly that maybe you're there, just your presence there might open up other opportunities. Things are not mutually exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
People can have their beliefs, but be open to other things as well. So I just wanted to share that because in my experience, I had never run across that in my experience of going to church, but in this community here, there are a lot of women that say, yeah, I do believe, I go to church with my family, blah, blah, blah. And life is bigger than that belief for me.
Cool.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a great opportunity for me to practice listening because as a fire sign and it can be but also it was interesting. It made me really grateful to have this information because this little room, was packed with moms who dropped their kids off to go to sun and people people are craving these belief. If you don't have a core belief system, then you're it's hard. So
Yeah.
it made me really grateful that these people are all looking for answers and trying to find answers. And I feel like I have my foundation, and I'm grateful that I'm 37. And yeah, it took me a while, but thanks to this group and Roz and, the past couple years, I'm getting there, and we all are. And thank you, ladies, for your support.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I want us to do an intuitive art, and I'm going to pull up the question that was shared, and let's see if it still fits. I think this is it. Share. Okay. Full screen. There you go. So if this resonates with you, use this prompt for your intuitive art. If it doesn't, then allow spirit to bring forth whatever it is you're going to receive. It could just be a message from, your guidance. But I was feeling into this, from everything else that we've done, to show me what is possible as I step into my full power and authenticity. And let's see what guidance brings to us. How's everyone doing? Need more time?
I'm finished, but I'm gonna have to go. I actually have a music rehearsal I have to go to. Sorry.
Good to see you.
To see you all. Thank you so much.
Bye, Kathleen.
Bye. All right. We're back. Phyllis, you want to share yours?
Sure. I got another rainbow.
Ta-da!
So, I first drew two red rainbows, 2
Mhm.
arches, and then a black one. And red for me is powerful and strong.
Ooh.
So my message is there's more power and strength. Being my authentic self. The black is the unseen. And so it's like the unseen, the quantum, all of that stuff. There's like a layer of containment or protection, maybe, or something over here. And then there's the crossing, like interacting with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yeah. So it
How's
feels
it feel?
Yeah, it feels good. Like
Good.
something good's happening. Coming.
Yay! And we have evidence of that.
More good stuff.
More good stuff. Lainey, you want to share yours?
Sure. I didn't have colored pencils because I'm at a friend's house. But I just used my pen.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys see that?
Yes.
So I started off kind of drawing like a sun at the top and a moon below. But it's interesting because with the circle, it reminds me a little bit of yin yang, which has been my theme for the past like 3 months, the divine masculine, divine feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Then these triangles on the bottom as like kind of a foundation, then a heart, and the circles at the top. I don't know. They almost look like eyes to me, like insight.
Oh, I love it. Yes. How's it feel? Oh, and at bottom looks like there's a moon there, a crescent moon.
Yes, the sun and the moon.
I
So,
love it. Yeah, there we go. So how many pyramids do you have at the bottom, or triangles?
oh, so funny. 5,
Well, there you
like
go.
you said.
The
And
magic
3, 4,
number.
5. Yeah. 7 circles at the top, and then if you count the sun is 8, which is abundance, right?
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. How's it make you feel?
Um, it makes me feel great. I have this heart on the side again, and once again it's broken like it's been in the past with me. So, but I think it's kind of cool that even potentially with a broken heart, there's so much like completeness and abundance.
Beautiful. I love it. Oh gosh.
Excited to see yours.
Okay, so funny because normally I get some kind of a structure, but I just had a whole glob of the blue and this here and then another glob, but the colors are significant. So the first one that went down is a Prussian blue, so very, very deep peacefulness and serenity is available to me. And then the next one is it was turquoise, which has a lot of different meanings. And so it's this idea of spiritual grounding and wisdom, wholeness, creativity, and intuition. So all of that is available to me as I step into my authentic self. And then the final one is lilac, which is purple and white. And white is, for me, is spiritual. And then purple is that idea of sovereignty, and that stepping into my full power and authenticity, I'm going to have this spiritual sovereignty about me. And then it's also being strong and stable. So yes, looking forward to that. Even more, even more. Oh, this was a fabulous day. let me close the records and then y'all think about your diamond and we'll be right back. Beautiful. Lainey, what's your diamond for today?
I think just that this is the time for healing.
Mm. Yeah. Beautiful. Phyllis?
Probably in the after the tapping, the affirmation having to do with faith, and that part of my, let's say, being an example of having faith, I think is part of who I am and what I'm here to serve and show others as well. That came to me in that.
Yes. Oh, beautiful. I love it. Well, as we get ready to close, y'all know the drill. We are new people. Speaking of identity shifts. So be sure, and with the full moon energy too, be sure to hydrate and go outside if you can possibly can, and allowing this energy to just settle some. So let's return energy, any energy in your field that belongs to someone else. We return to sender with love and consciousness. Deep breath in. Return to sender. Energy in your field that belongs to something else. We release that to be transmuted into love. Deep breath in. Calling in all of your energy back to your field. Deep breath. Allowing it to settle in all the way down. And again, sensing, feeling, knowing that your energy is settling in right where it belongs. And one final time. Ending in a hug. Letting that energy just return to you. Know I see you and I feel you. I thank you and I love you. It's always so much fun to be here with you all. And I want to, as we are closing our circle, thank all of those who have gathered here with us, all the energies, and allowing them to exit our circle and go about their work. Thanking our sisters for being present, whether live or energetically, and helping to hold this beautiful space. As with great joy that I announce and declare that this circle is complete. Namaste, my friends.